I forgot to do it. All right, so thank you guys. I hope you really enjoyed the channeling and the information and the meditation and connecting with your dragon. And we want to talk a little more about some of the information that we have about dragons, and go into a little deeper into the topics of why dragons, why now, and how they can help you. And I want to first start. I want to mention that we have wonderful Jennifer Rose here with us, and she was at the workshop, and she knows a lot about dragons too. And she's also has her own practice, and we work a lot together. So I want to welcome Jennifer.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So I want to start by sharing with everyone my a channeling I did actually a couple of years ago. And it's I want to share that because this is sometimes interesting. Some of the information is already said before in the other video, but it's just nice to hear a continuous flow of consciousness as they communicate with me as I ask them questions. So here it is. Okay. So here I'm sharing. Hopefully you can see that. All right. Okay, so I'll just read it out loud. This is them talking. It is within our power to do so much more than you can even imagine. Imagine billions of years of refinement and growth. We are the dragons of creation that are of service to the One. It is an order of dragons that we insisted you call us. We are call us since we are many dragons and have received bad raps in your world as destroyers and not creators. We sustain an enormous amount of life force within us and able to focus it deliberately and powerfully on creating life on a grand scale, such as a planet. And I asked, how can I be of service? And this really relates to everyone as they talk here about this. You are to first recognize that you are one of us, that you have this power to create. We are slightly appalled by your inability to embody this despite our connection and desire to manifest more with you and through you. Appalled is a strong word, and we have character, and we are not concerned with soul encouragement and positivity. You need to know when you are out of line, more than to the point out of alignment. Just do it. Connect with us and feel the power. The power you feel when you hold weapons is a taste of how it feels to harness the power of creation. We are creator beings on a massive scale. Therefore, it is so hard for you to understand our magnitude and your own ability to tap into it, into you, because again, we are that. Release your smallness and embrace the dragon within you. I love that sentence because our smallness, our feeling limitations. So I asked it because I was seeing them as white dragons. So white dragon, are you all of you are white? And he answered, this order is an order of white dragons, as we are completely made of essence, essentially light beings in the consciousness form of dragons. And I asked, what would help me embrace this further? And again, I think this is relevant for everyone. So this is really, really cool. Call yourself a dragon of creation, a white dragon, dragon of light. We manifest in many ways, and these are just limitations of your speech language. Let go of this specifics and focus on the essence of creation and manifestation. Allow yourself a trip in your dragon form, in your dragon power. It is much more than a semblance of power. It is power itself. Do not shrivel before tasks. Do not cower in front of decisions. It is yours to create. It is yours to declare. There is so much more to this to embrace in your current life that will assist you in overcoming all of your idiosyncrasies. You are beyond them. You are so close. Stop wasting time with distractions and focus on the task at hand. Focus on the mission. Focus on creation. Do not let go of your vision, as it holds the strength of intention and duration of energy applies by the universe, by source itself. When you tap into such mindfulness and level of consciousness, you will never go back to your smallness. It is not about being empathetic. On the contrary, it is considering all that is and yet acting with power and intention. I thank you. I say to them, I thank you. I sense your presence near in the last few days. And they answered, it was I, he was answered, reminding you of your essence. Operate from this resonance and life will flow with greater ease in the direction intended.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and I know it was really, and one thing that's hard to express is feeling their presence, the enormous energy that they hold, the power. It's just such an intense, strong, powerful. Yet not necessarily ungentle or kind of brute force. It's not about that. It's about just power of creation. It's just they are so much closer to the one, to source, that they know their abilities. They are aware of all that they are, and it's just about that. So that was really beautiful to feel and connect when I was doing that channeling.
Yeah, I'm really familiar with it through light language. More often than not, I will be channeling dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes through in this very powerful way that can be intimidating. And when you surrender to that and you really are present with it, it's this force of love, this absolute connection.
Yes.
Everything that you are and everything that the universe is, and then channeling that, moving from that energy allows you to create, and in a very powerful way. So everything that you said was just exactly what I feel whenever I'm speaking dragon language.
Beautiful. Excellent. So you mentioned that the addressing, like that somebody asked you, why dragons? Why do we need to focus on dragons? Why that? So what would you like to say for that?
I think that we really have to be conscious of what we're tapping into at every moment. You know, we're creating our life and our sense of purpose from those things that we're connected to. And dragons have been here from the Earth's inception. They helped create this planet. They've guarded every beautiful thing in existence. They are, you know, the songs and the mountains and the power and the grandfather stones at Sweat Lodge. They're the beautiful breath that you feel inside of the wind. And so when you connect with dragons and when you feel that universal life flow, you're feeling the potential of everything around you, and you're really connected with Gaia and with your own creative force. And so I guess my question would be, why would you connect with anything other than dragons?
There's a funny t-shirt that says, like, be yourself unless you can be a dragon. In that case, just be a dragon. It's a funny t-shirt that I was thinking of getting, because it's just really funny. Mark, if you can be a dragon, why not be a dragon? But it is, again, it goes more than that. It goes to really it's elemental, and a dragon creation force is a lot of the life force, the elemental life force on Earth. It is infused into the energy of Earth, of everything that we are, everything that we are made of here. So it's so much more. People think, oh, what's something that's outside of us? It is not. It is something to tap within us, but really physically and energetically and all on all levels of our being. So it's so much more than that. And we are entering a period of reclaiming our power. So why not tap into the most powerful example of that, an essence of that, so we can truly understand and reclaim our power as beings. Right?
And I felt that in class with you when I found this dragon right next to me. And I've worked with dragons before, but this was different. In the connection in the class, I really felt all of that awareness and all of that directed energy lifting me up through the different layers of density. And in that flying, in that moment of release, I didn't have any limitations. I saw that everything in my life was something that I had created. And if I wanted to change it, then I could just change it. And I can just relate to life in a more loving, joyful way. And the only thing stopping me is me. So the limitations dissolved as
That's
we were
right.
flying, you know?
And that's what they're referring to as smallness. And I love to use it now all the time
Mhm.
since I channeled that, a couple of years ago. It's that smallness of like, oh, afraid of this, afraid of that. I'm not sure if this is the right thing. All this doubt and fear, all this kind of fear-based mentality and way of being that's based on fear and limitations and something that's contracting us instead of focusing on that love and the power of love, which is, as you said, this is really it, power of creation, the power of source, and allowing it to flow through us with ease. And it just melts away all those, oh, why am I even worried about that? Why am I being concerned? I just need to make it. I just need to create it. I just need to do that. Right? It feels like suddenly like all those little decisions, all those little indecisions and the little fear, is it the right thing? Is the wrong thing? Just do it kind of thing. But in a, not in a frivolous and careless way, but in a out of power and love to your mission and alignment to who you are without limitations, as you said, without the brakes on. So that feels so good. So why not tap into that? So yes, it might sound a little weird because we are tapping into mythical animals. And to be honest, when I just first started tapping into realizing that mythical animals are kind of real in other realms, I didn't think of it before. I thought, well, it's just myths, just just stuff. I didn't realize it that they do hold so much energy, so much power, so much creative force, and so much a part of our own evolution as a planet, as humanity. And they're assisting us even to, obviously today, not only part of the creation of the earth, but the continuous support and evolution of the earth and progression of the earth and evolution of humanity and all of that stuff is a part of our growing consciousness and awareness. It's all part of that. So really not tapping into it is and not realizing, okay, it's not just myth, it's not just Arthur with their little swords and that kind of stuff. It's a lot more than that, because once you start realizing that you start working like we have, working with beings on many different levels and dimensions and densities, you start realizing, yeah, it's not limited to only what we know on this earth, and not only humanoids, and not only, it's just there's forces that have existed for billions of years, and it's just our ignorance, that our prior ignorance, that is holding us back on that way.
And I think that the same thing has happened in our history as well with women. You've seen, the goddess being repressed, and a woman was suddenly, evil if she was tapped into these beautiful things.
That's right.
and
Once you stepped
and
into her
so
power.
I feel like the dragons kind of took the hit with that. Like they've been here, and just like cats and witches and herbalists, medicine has in general become something that's hard to tap into without facing those feelings of disconnection, and without facing, do I trust myself enough to go against the conventional understanding, and why is it being perceived that way? Like, what's behind that?
Right.
You have to really be willing to look behind what's at face value in order to tap into this. And as I'm tapping into it,
Mm-hmm.
sorry,
Go ahead.
it's just like right now, I can feel my energy, and I can feel the dragon's energy, and it's coming into my stomach, right? And it's holding me and making my voice deeper. It's making my understanding clearer. It's making my joy more present. And so everything that I am becomes more. And I feel like that's what we're supposed to be. And
That's
and
right.
that's what these different parts of history have been suppressing, is that natural power.
That's right. And it's always been especially again the you can say toxic masculinity of anybody who has fear. Quick, cut them down. Anything who cause a perceived threat of any sort, and that's why it's been persecuted. Everybody who's stepped into that power has been persecuted in some way, and dragons themselves and all that kind of stuff, as far as energies and what they represent. So stepping into that space and stepping into your own power, and this is the idea. It's not about and I want to make sure that people understand, it's not about that the essence of dragons and this power of creation, a power of flow of really source energy, which is what really it is. It's not about doing someone else's bidding or the dragon's agenda. Their agenda is to let us be in our own power and be aligned with our own purpose and mission, so we can accomplish it with greater ease. And that's the key. It's not about, oh, it's going to make me do stuff, or I'm going to have all kinds of dialogues and conversations that are contradicting what's my highest good. No, it's always, when you talk about beings like that, when it's such a high level of goodness, and they are so much closer to source, they do everything that is in our highest good and support us to be everything that we can be in our highest vibration, highest version of ourselves. So yeah. It's really important to tap into it. So did you encounter any other questions that you feel people have asked about it, or?
I think that's really it. It's why us, why now? And then why me? Like, why am I connecting to dragons? Well, why do you connect to the sun? Why do you connect to these natural forces within you? You're wanting to grow, you're wanting to feel this peace and surrender. And in order to do that in a really practical way, you have to empower yourself to be all that you are. And so you get in touch with this really deep feeling of yourself, and this really deep presence in the universe. And then all of a sudden you realize, you're not alone, and there's all these things surrounding you that are offering you support and aligning you to hold more and more of that frequency. So in order to really be the best that you can be, it's like you have to be open to those beings that are there in any moment in your highest good. Like you just ask, like, who's in the highest good to connect to? And 9 out of 10 times, my council has a dragon on it.
There you go. And it is about releasing those preconceived notions of what it represents and what it's about, and how it relates to me. It relates to you because it really serves you on your own personal journey and progression and evolution, spiritual evolution and ascension and growth in consciousness and awareness. And everyone in that I know wants some of that. So open your mind and allow yourself to receive and align with your mission and purpose, and get, as you said, get the support, get the tools that are at your service. Instead of feeling alone and small and limited, is tapping into that limitless source energy, life force energy. And that is the beauty of it.
And I really feel like that's what's holding, some of the people that I talk to back, is like, well, that just sounds preposterous. Why would you talk to a dragon?
I know, yeah.
And so when you allow your mind to move beyond the face value of any given thing, yourself, your moment to moment interaction, like, you don't want to make assumptions. So maybe just allow yourself to experience in this high vibrational way, and see what you do experience. What is your personal understanding that you receive?
Right. And people ask themselves, why me? Why am I connecting? Like, no, not me specifically, but no, why themselves? Why should I connect? Or why am I connecting with them? It's not like the only one, as you can see. This is something it's just really tapping into a space, into a certain level of consciousness energy and source energy that will support everyone. So anyone who can tap into it. And again, the whole point is our evolution as individual evolution, and through us, the evolution and ascension of all humanity. And that's the key. And that's the point.
And I feel like that's particularly potent right now in this time. You know, I feel like maybe there's more available to us right now because of what we're shifting through. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
could talk about that.
Well, it's just really moving through and feeling centered, strong, and just aligned through no matter what takes place around you. You can be in that when you are connecting with the dragons, you can be in the eye of the storm. It can be everything, all this havoc, all this changes, whether it's the earth getting upset with all the global warming and all that stuff that takes place and all on a nature level and human society level. So all this concern and stress and worry and that happens around us, you can still be in your power and not be taken and being pulled into off of yourself and getting distracted from being you. And I think that's really most important part. It doesn't matter what's around you. You can, if you are in your power, and it's always going to be in the service of everyone around you when you are in your power, when you are focused and centered and peaceful and in your love. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add before we end this discussion?
No, it feels really complete. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer, for doing this with me. I really appreciate that. You added a lot, and I hope people get more from this conversation about dragons. And if you want to, you can go and experience it again, and listen to the audio again, and download it, and really connect as much as you can, because it is in your highest good. So, thank you.